In this video, we're going to talk about how IMAX is bringing their premium viewing experience to live broadcasts. Real quick, you're watching VP Land. Special thanks to our sponsors, Blackmagic View and LucidLink, for helping make our NAB coverage possible. And now, back to the video. Tell me about, here at IMAX, IMAX Enhanced streaming, so tell me about what this is.
Sure, I think I always like to start with just been at the show for a week. It's been exhausting, but a lot of questions I have is okay, I had retired, so why did you come out of retirement to come back to IMAX?
Okay.
And I live on an island, I love it, it's all great. But the thing was, what I love about IMAX is we live in a world where everything's ridiculous and everyone is so serious, right? And so we're using our brains all the time and we all need an escape. And our premise has always been take you to another place, feel something, do something. And we have a thing about franchises and fandom and this whole idea that if there's something worth watching, then it should be watched in the best possible way. So what brought us here is, everybody knows IMAX movies. If I told anybody, hey, think of a movie that was iconic to you, likely going to be an IMAX film.
Yeah.
And then we do things like on streaming for on demand. So Marvel's and Disney Plus is in IMAX Enhanced. It's right behind me here. So on demand is 4K, UHD, very high resolution. So if you pull anything on a streaming service, it's really high. Sports is lagging behind. Just for the realities of concurrent users, whatever. Most is still done at 720p. Even when they did the Super Bowl, it's at 1080. It's still SDR. They do HDR and stuff after. And our thought was, well, let's elevate live. And live in sports is a really funny place because they are literally franchises. And they are literally fandom. If you're a Yankee fan and that jersey is going to cost you $800, you're going to buy it if it's
if you have that level of fandom.
Because that's fandom, and we play in that world. Yeah. And it just felt like, and then the idea was, could we do what we do on digital media remastering at the speed of live?
Okay.
And so in 2022, we bought a technology company out of Waterloo that literally has an algorithm that can see like a human being. So what that does is it allows you to make decisions dynamically. Okay. So when we're paying attention to color, contrast, depth, we can make those calls because all of our cinematic experience is now happening at live. And we've done a bunch of test runs. And in the theatrical world, we did the NBA Finals in Hong Kong and Taiwan. We did the Olympics live in theater. We did the Whiteout game, which is Penn State, Washington State. And we did Saturday Night Live, the 50th anniversary in theater. Okay. So now we were streaming in a thing, and then we're like, oh. Well,
so you're taking these streams and putting them on a big IMAX
So if you're putting it on a 70-foot screen, there's nowhere to hide. Every pixel matters. If there's something wrong, it's gonna, you're gonna see it. But as we were doing that, we're like, oh, we can really improve sports in theater, so we can do it on a 70-inch TV. Let's take sports to the level that what people are used to, because everyone's got a 4K HDR TV at home. It's the norm. Everybody's watching things on Disney Plus in that format, or watching it on Prime, or wherever. It's all coming up as UHD, 4K. Let's do it for sports. And so we kind of pressed on it. It was a big pivot we did in January, and we're here to tell the industry, let's go.
All right, so this is streaming. So what are the specs? So do the broadcasters have to change anything? Or are they just...
No, so partly, people, at IMAX we go all the way from cameras and the theatrical side. But in this case, we're taking the broadcast feeds coming out of the broadcast center. So it's already produced.
Right, okay.
And so, if you can imagine, it was coming from a broadcast center and they would send it through affiliate to the streaming service. So typically it's an uncompressed feed of whatever. Most times in sports it's still 1080 SDR, and they might have 5.1 sound, but typically it's 2.1. It's just the nature of sports. This stuff is coming out, so we haven't gone upstream because we want to do it now. And so we get that, and then now we basically call it image enhancement right then before it hits the encoder. Okay. And under the hood, we have actually technologies that work with encoders to use our VisionScience to make sure to understand what's lost in the compression and keep what's there, keep what's not, because again, live sports, you have to make sure it's small and lean. And so that's the stuff we've been doing in theater, and now we're bringing it here. So it's just, what do you start with? And a big decider is if that source isn't high enough, then we can't do it. You are not going to, we're not going to risk our brand because somebody gives us some garbage input.
So
right?
there's a minimum technical quality requirement.
Yeah.
And then what is coming out? So with the IMAX streaming, so is it 4K? HDR stream, or what's the output?
So it's an interesting question because we probably have never heard resolution in anything IMAX has ever done.
IMAX,
because we don't.
Yeah.
We do, so people ask us all the time, and I use things like, okay, well, when something is done in IMAX film, technically it's 18,000 pixels per frame. So we operate in that world. And so the thing is now in the streaming world, again, the end device it's going to play on has more to do. So people are, well, it's got to be 4K for a 4K TV. I'm like, well, no, you don't need to have that much because the TV and the viewing distance. So we understand dynamics, and sometimes certain frames don't require as much. So it becomes more dynamic. So you may have a high feed, but it can say, oh, well, actually that next scene, it's talking heads, whatever. We can bump down to the lower one. The viewer can't, it doesn't deteriorate in the viewer experience. But so your resolution question is, well, it's jumping up and down, taking the most optimal, smallest version, which comes back to some things are very difficult. And I'm going to lose it because I'm the marketing guy of how to say it. But let's say something complicated. Well,
like
those 4, 5, 6 seconds may require the highest resolution, bandwidth, whatever. And then it switches to like, oh, it's just a field of green with a blue sky. And again, our visual system, which is a key part of it, we call it IMAX VisionScience. We understand how we see. Like when I'm talking to you, all of this here doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But I know you, and that's the idea that, with current technologies in AI or whatever, because we've created probes that are human eyes. So now we have a constraint, but we understand what's most important. And things like in a game, where the puck is, where the ball is, whatever. And if you're doing this kind of stuff, it's literally on their eyes, on the pieces and whatever. And so we're literally, I think that term is called saliency, of like where we are focused. And we like to think we're all different. The science over 20 years has proven that we're way more alike than we are. How we see our optical system, what annoys us, what pleases us, what makes us...
What our eyes are drawn to.
Yeah. And so that's the decisioning that helps.
And this is happening in real time as with the algorithm as it's going through the IMAX service.
Yeah. And so for the industry, this is a very technical show, I've learned. We talk about, measure the source. We want to know what your source is at. Source in, IMAX Enhanced, stream out. Right? Because the idea is, and then we've partnered with AWS. So again, part of the thing is we're really good at making things look good. They're really good at making sure it gets delivered in the cloud world. And so I think it's a great partnership to kind of come back. And that was partly why we're here. And we're working with some leagues right now to get some things done right off the bat, because they have a huge sports part of their business. And a lot of the, like this whole part, like if I'm going to get any bit of technical, it's like, we're not doing it all the way. So source, we enhance it. And then once it comes out to the encoder, I guess, and then, or to a packager, but we've made it better, enhanced it up front. Now, once it hits that, and then it just goes, the rest of it. And so who's the one managing ops, live ops, doing whatever? Well, that's not us. And so I think one of the things, I'd like to press on is IMAX has always been about dedicated partnerships. We work with every studio. Are they competitors? Of course they are. But when they want to do a movie in the best possible way, they come to us. So it's Paramount, it's MGM, Disney, Apple Studios, that's the F1 movie. Work with Netflix Studios, we're doing a Narnia movie in the fall, and then there's going to be an episodic after. And then so when we're coming to the part of the mechanism of how things get from point A to point B, our model wasn't like, we're going to build it, everybody come to us. Let's go find the right partners. And if you value premium, we're a good partner. And if you don't, then you're not our partner. And off we go. And we take it all the way to the device side too. I don't know if you know about IMAX Enhanced certified devices, but the highest end Sony TVs are IMAX Enhanced certified. There's a mode on it called IMAX Enhanced.
And so is that a similar thing but happening on the TV end?
TV, yeah.
Okay, so that's just taking any signal and enhancing it?
No, it's basically a digitally remastered asset from us.
Okay, so it's only if you're watching a specific asset from IMAX.
It'll look better on any TV. Like so Disney Plus, you don't have a requirement to have those devices, but it'll look better. But if it's on an IMAX Enhanced device and sound system, well, now the sound is clearly depth and whatever. The pictures are better because we don't certify every TV. For Sony, it's the Bravia, it's the high end. It has to meet a certain nit level. So the idea is like, we're very selective. So, I want to knock anybody else, but some people will put that on everything. And, we can translate to every level of TV and every level of whatever. We don't do that. We're like, if it's here, it's here. And for example, with Sony, we announced at CES that the Mercedes are going to have an IMAX Enhanced infotainment system in the car. And, so here's a luxury brand. It's got this wonderful screen. Cars are really what's different about them now when they're all electric. It's the fit and finish. And what are people doing in cars now? It is watching things, so it's analogous to sound. Like, Harman Kardon, Bose, all those things, they really took off in the cars. And so we're saying, Mercedes, what's your differentiator? Why buy a BMW or an Audi or a Tesla or whatever? It comes down to the screen and the sound. And so the thing is, who's raising the bar? And I walked around the show and I'm like, everybody's like, oh, we can make it more efficient. We can make it cheaper. We can make it faster. Well, who's saying that? Well, if there's something worth watching and coming back to franchises and fandom, I'm a fan of golf. Like a diehard fan of golf. So if I'm going to watch a PGA Tour event, I'm a fan. And if I could see it in a better way, why wouldn't I? Right? Why does it have to be commoditized? And I'm going to get philosophical here because, the music streaming services, like, this is art. And now it's like, oh, it's too much to spend $6.99 a month to have every song that's ever made. And you go on a streaming platform, it's like everything that has ever been made is like, oh, $12 a month is too much. And I'm like, there's this toil and the sweat and the emotional input of people.
Every song ever created.
But it's art. And so we love storytellers, we love artists, and we're going to make sure that, and we're fine, but the numbers prove out, people do pay for the stuff they love. This image was meant to capture the idea that it's a game changer. IMAX has entered the arena. And I can tell you firsthand, every league is very happy that we've entered the arena. That's their film, is their product. And they want it to be delivered in the best possible way. And we'll work with partners to make it happen. And this is meant to represent our vision science. How do people see? How do people experience? How do people experience entertainment? Which, again, full circle to take me away from this world for a little bit. And if you're like me, I'm the typical guy who watches a sporting event where all my emotions come out in a sporting event, but get me to do it in real life with anybody else. But again, that's another place where I can feel angry, I can feel sad, I can, but that's entertainment, and I want to make sure that that's always front and center. Why do we do it? Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Saj. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Right.
That's it for this video. Thanks again to our sponsors for helping make our NAB coverage possible. For more NAB videos, be sure to check out our playlist right here. I'll catch you in the next episode.